Coach, congrats first off on the 51-17 victory over Lewis and Clark this past Saturday in the Cat Dome. Clinched the Northwest Conference title outright, the program's 43rd conference title. There was a little adversity early in the game versus the Pios, but the Cats responded in a big way. Could you walk me through the game?
Yeah, I was really pleased with how the guys responded. It's one of those, a tad bit frustrating games. We're playing well, but things just really aren't going your way. And we haven't had that much this year. We've been fortunate with the way the balls have bounced and stuff and so forth. And certainly we had a couple tip balls that didn't go our way in that game. And really that was the only thing that stopped us. We didn't punt the entire day, so it was just a matter of time and hanging in there. But for us to be down after a quarter, I told our guys inside, hey, I'm kind of excited about this. This is fun. This is how this feels. So we've got to, come back and focus on what we can control and what we can focus on, and that's the next series. And boy, I thought those guys did that and strung an awful lot of good series together in a row.
Yeah, once you got past the couple little turnovers, you guys just rolled. Offensively, it was definitely fun to watch. 19th perfect regular season in Linfield program history, the 6th under your time as head coach. I don't think people truly understand how hard it is to go perfect during the regular season. Do you ever think about I know we have bigger aspirations, but it's dang hard to finish the year without a loss.
No, you're right. It really is. I think that gets maybe lost, and maybe it's appreciated more now just because it's been harder to do. The non-conference schedules that we've had have been pretty tough, the last, I'm not sure how many years, but, and I still feel like, the teams we played early in the year were arguably the best teams we were going to play, and certainly I think Redlands is that again. They're a very dangerous football team. So
I agree.
To beat Simon Fraser and then Redlands and then what seemed like, this is the best team in our conference, 3 times in a row. It was a great season. I was very proud of how our guys played. One of the better seasons that we've had, as you mentioned.
Yeah, that leads right into my next question. I mean, Linfield, you guys buried the Northwest Conference. The average margin of victory was 41.9 points per game. I mean, let's be real, no one in the conference was even close to the Cats. So coming off the adversity of the COVID year, so much time away from actually playing game, did this past conference season have a certain satisfaction for you, the staff, and the players and the team?
I think it did. I think that's a great point. This team's so competitive, and there's an awful lot of bite in it. And I think that's from 2 years of frustration. I mean, it's been a frustrating world that we've all been living in, right? There's a lot of angry people out there, and our guys it's not been fun to be a college student. I mean, it's not been fun to be a college student for 2 years. And so our guys are, I think football's been a wonderful release for them, and it's been very rewarding because of what they've had to go through.
Absolutely. And, all their hard work has been apparent this season, and led by a special group of seniors. It's an interesting senior class because there's, you have a number of seniors, but there's still some guys within there that could have the option of coming back next year. I know they have things to consider, things to look at, but from a leadership standpoint, what an amazing group of guys leading really at certain areas a very young football team. What's your thoughts on your group of seniors this season?
Particularly our fifth-year guys are an extraordinary bunch. I mean, there's some tremendous young men in that group and on all our team. But starting with Bergeron, just with his experience in life and his wisdom that he has, he's just one of the stronger leaders we've ever had on this team, and certainly Sitton to go along with that, and Wyatt and his leadership and what he's done with a bunch of newbies on offense. I'm very proud of what he's been able to do with those guys, bringing that skill group along and developing them. But I'm very proud of our seniors. It's a really neat group.
Yeah, this isn't on my list of questions, Coach, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. I know that I've avoided the topic just because I know that I don't think necessarily want to talk about it, but I think about Wyatt's journey through the program here, and I remember that his freshman year in 18 and how it was a struggle for you to decide to finally insert him in the starting lineup because, there was multiple factors, and, including I think that you were having to struggle with, and, he was a freshman and he had a long ways to go, and so there was a couple years where he was having growth, and sometimes growth is no fun, and everyone got to see him have to grow and take some lumps, but man, he blossomed into one of the greatest quarterbacks in program history in the Northwest Conference. I know there's still chapters to be written as we move forward here, but pretty magical to watch his journey, and will one day no doubtly be a Linfield Hall of Famer.
No, I appreciate that. What he went through his freshman year was very difficult and was hard for me, as you mentioned. And finally, the seniors on the team were coming to me saying, "You got to play him, and we got to have a chance to win." And he could play, And so I thought he played extremely well his freshman year, and honestly, extremely well his sophomore year.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated with kind of our output, So, I think what you saw these last 2 years were capable earlier. We just didn't have maybe some of the speed in particular to stretch the field like we are the last couple years. And boy, now I'm just so proud of our skill kids, and our offensive line's doing so well.
Tremendous.
And we've got a really good system. Coach Elliott, Coach Bomey have been amazing with what they've done. And they put us in a position to play with some of the best in the country. And I really feel like we can. Now, I guess we'll find out. But I feel like we can.
It's quite a list. If we're fortunate enough to travel and make that journey. So let's turn our attention to this Saturday. The Cats get the honor of hosting a first-round playoff game versus the SCIAC champions, Redlands Bulldogs. It's a rematch for an earlier non-conference game. After the game with Linfield, man, the Bulldogs went on a tear in the SCIAC play. They've shown, tremendous improvement and growth through the year. It's why I think, I'm already leading up to the question I'm going to ask. Why is it so hard to beat a quality opponent twice in one season? Especially during the first game, it was one-sided.
I think particularly when the game's early in the year, there's so much time elapsed. Maybe if it's a couple games earlier or something like that, maybe there's not as big a difference. But whenever you lose early, it tends to point out the areas you have to fix. And so for the team that loses, you're able to repair and address and improve upon your weaknesses that were shown to you. So I've always felt like going into a rematch, the team that lost has typically had the advantage from a schematic standpoint. Now, certainly there's a confidence thing that obviously the team that wins has more confidence maybe, but you can't just go in and play the same game again, because what worked game one probably won't work game two. And so I think there's an experience there that you got to learn from, and certainly you can't be complacent. And this Redlands team is quite good. Now, we played very well in week two. I thought that was one of our better games. Like, we just made plays, things went our way a little bit, and the score maybe wasn't as reflective as the the performance on the field. We just had a couple big plays pop for us. I expect this one to be very challenging, and I'm very impressed with Redlands. They play hard. They're very physical on defense, and they've got some playmakers on offense. So, whoever wins the line of scrimmage is going to win the game.
I agree. I think it's going to be a barn burner up here in the Cat Dome. I have no doubt that they're probably excited for the opportunity for some redemption. So, Coach, I'm excited to see what happens on Saturday, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, go Cats.